Welcome students. In the previous class, we actually completed our fifth chapter, that is simple machines. Today we actually discuss about forces. Okay, actually in your half yearly syllabus, you already read the chapter, the fourth chapter, that is force and friction. Okay, so actually this is the revision class. Okay, so in our daily life, actually we perform various types of work like closing a door, at first closing a door and lifting a book, second one lifting a book, pressing a doorbell, pressing a doorbell, etc. In these cases, actually we uses a physical quantity that is named force. Okay, so for this case, actually force is required or force is required in these cases. So in our daily life, we have already uses forces to do some different types of work done or some different types of action. Now, actually, what is the definition of force? Actually, we can define that force is a we can define force is a push or pull. Okay, it is actually a push or pull acting upon object as a result of an interaction. As an as a result of an interaction. Okay, this is the definition of force. And in generally, what is the unit of force? Actually, uh, unit of force, if we write down, then unit in a CGS system, the unit of force is dyne, and in SI system, unit of force is Newton. In short, actually we define as capital N, that is actually Newton. Now, if we apply a force to a body, then what will happen? Or what are the effects of force? Okay, so the next point is what are the effects? Okay, so next point is effects of force. Effects of force. So first point is actually a force can move a stationary wave. Move a stationary object. Actually, if we apply a force to a stationary object, it can move. Okay, like if we press a force to a rest body, okay, then the body can start to move. Okay, now we take second point, that is actually a force can stop a moving body. Similarly, if a body is moving, then if we apply the force to the moving body, then it can be stopped. Okay. Now, similarly, actually for the second point, actually we can say this force, that is the force to stop a moving body, that is actually we can say frictional force. In generally, when a body starts to move on a surface, then the contact surface applied a resistive type force, that is called friction force. And the third point is a force can change the speed of moving body. Okay, change of speed of moving object. In this case, actually, suppose at first a body is moved with a speed certain. In this case, actually, if we take a body and its speed, this is your body, and its speed, say u is equal to 10 meter per second. Okay, so if we applied no forces, then the velocity actually same becomes same. But if we applied a force, external force on the body, suppose F, then actually the speed may be changed. Okay, so I take actually in that case speed is changed and the speed becomes 20 meter per second. Or in this case we can say speed of body is changed from 10 meter per second to 20 meter per second due to applied force F. Okay, and next we move to our fourth point, that is for fourth point we can say actually a force can change the direction of a moving object. Okay, the next point is change of direction. Change of direction of a moving body. Actually, in this case, if we take a body, suppose this is the body and this body is in generally moved in this direction. We take this is your direction, that is east direction. Okay, and we suddenly we applied a force in the direction F. This is your applied force. So in this case, actually, after applying the force, the body can change the direction and finally the body moves in this direction. This is the final direction. Maybe. So we can say actually a force can change the direction of a moving body. And the fifth one, that is actually the fifth point, is a force can change the shape and size of object. Shape and size of object. In this point, actually, we can take an example, that is, suppose this is your, at first we take a spherical ball. This is your, suppose, spherical rubber ball. This is spherical rubber ball. And now we applied a force on the ball. Okay, so after applying the force F, actually the shape and size may be changed. Okay, so by using force, we can change the shape and size of a particular object. Okay, and these are the points, or we can say these are the effects of forces. At first, move a stationary object, second one, stop a moving body, and the third one, change of speed of moving object, and fourth one is change of direction of a moving body, and the fifth one is change the shape and size of object. Now, the next point actually types of forces. Okay, so the next point is what are the types of force? In generally, force are classified, or we can say forces can be classified into two main types. Okay, so one is actually contact force, and another one is non-contact force. So in this case, actually, what is the definition of contact force? In generally, when uh, forces, forces between two bodies is in contact. Okay, so the force act between two bodies which is in contact, then the forces is called contact forces. And when the force acts between two bodies do not actually, there is no contaction or contact between two bodies, then the force is called non-contact force. Okay, like what is the example of contact force? So in this case, actually, we take several examples. Like first one is we can take nuclear forces. No, this is actually non-contact force. So at first we take contact force, that is muscular force. In generally, we use muscular force to do some work. Okay, like a player kicking a ball, a person lifting a suitcase. These are the example of muscular force. Okay, and the second one is actually frictional force. Frictional force, and this type of force act between body and the surface in which the body wants to move, and the force frictional force is called resistive force. Due to this type of resistive force, the body can stop, okay, a moving body. So in generally, the frictional force acts between the moving body and the surface in which the body is moved. Okay. Now we move to our second type of force, that is actually non-contact force. In this case, we take this several types. In this case, there are several types of non-contact force, or examples like the first, gravitational force. Gravitational force. Actually, in this type of force, the force is act between any type of two bodies which have mass. Okay. In generally, in our universe, gravitational force is acted between two bodies having masses. And the next point is magnetic force. This force act between magnet, two magnets, or one magnet and one magnetic material. Okay, magnetic forces. This type of force is acted between, or we can say the force of attraction between magnet and metal is called magnetic force. And in this case, there is one example, that is electrostatic force. This is also non-contact force. And what is the definition of electrostatic force? Actually, for electrostatic force, we can say in this case we take two different types of charge, like positive charge In this case, we take and positive charge and negative charges. Positive charge and negative charge, and the force act between actually objects that have opposite charges attract each other, because we know positive charge is attracted by negative charge, and while objects have the similar charges, then they repel each other. Okay, so in generally the force exerted by a charged body on another charged body or uncharged body is called electrostatic force. So in this case, actually, if we take one positive charge and another one is negative charge, then the force is called electrostatic force. And if we take two same charges like one positive and one positive, then also we can say this is electrostatic force. And if we take one body is charged positively or negatively charged and another body is uncharged, then also the force between these type of two bodies is called electrostatic forces. Okay, so actually these are the examples of non-contact force, and in generally we measure the force in Newton unit. Okay, so at first we take unit. Okay, so already we discussed actually what is the CGS unit. CGS unit is dyne. CGS unit is dyne, and SI unit is Newton. Okay, actually these are the absolute unit, actually absolute unit of force. And here actually we also force is measured in gravitational unit. That is actually, in this case, we can take in CGS system, that is GF, gram weight, and for SI system we can take kgf. These are the also units of force, and this type of unit in generally which, or we can say this is called gravitational unit. Gravitational unit of force. Okay, so this is one part, actually gravitational unit. This is one part of force, gravitational unit, and this is also a part, this is absolute unit of force. So in this case, there is a relation between uh, absolute unit and gravitational unit. That is actually, we have to remember it, that is 1 kgf is equal to 9.8 Newton, and it is approximately take 10 Newton, and if in CGS system 1 GF is equal to 980 die. These are the relations between absolute and gravitational unit. Okay, so this is the actually simple concept or some uh, points that actually we have to remember regarding force. Okay, at first you have to remember the definition of force. The second one is what are the effects of force and how a force is measured in different units, and also you have to remember what is the relation between gravitational and absolute unit, and we also have to remember types of forces like contact force, non-contact force, and give two examples of contact and non-contact forces, and what is the example of muscular force, frictional force, gravitational, magnetic, and electrostatic, and what is the definition of these type of forces like muscular, frictional, gravitational, magnetic, and electrostatic. Okay, so this is the some idea about, or some, we can say, some important points about force. Okay, so this is the end of today's class. Actually, in the next class we discuss about some topic that is actually frictional force. Okay, that is in your syllabus. So this is the end of today's class. Okay.